From the Vanderbildt Hotel down Miami Beachway, this is Bill Stern with the answer on how to discourage Junior from bouncing on the bed. It's simple. Just rig up a trampoline and save the bed springs. Headmaster in one of the most amazing athletic courses in the world is Ralph Smith, popularly known as Smitty. He starts them literally in the cradle, and he teaches them to be acrobats. Star pupil up there on the trampoline is Mr. and Mrs. Miller's only son, Junior, 15 months old. The kid simply loves it, bawls his eyes out when his balancing routine is rained out. Yep, any youngster can become an acrobatic and balance like a circus performer. According to Smitty, all you have to do is start him out young. Balancing on one foot, that's kid stuff for Junior. When it comes to swinging, the serial nip-ups, this young fella doesn't even get dizzy. Smitty's been doing this sort of thing for 15 years, but of course not with the same baby. Indifferent little darling, isn't he? The secret is in knowing just how much tossing around a youngster can take. The rest is pure applied child psychology. This little guy enjoys the tricks as much as Smitty, more perhaps, because Junior doesn't have to do them to earn a living. Try this some morning with your own offspring just before his bottle. Only don't let your wife catch you. Anyhow, it's good stuff for the kid, physically and mentally. If this youngster's ever afraid of anything, it won't be a mouse. Now, up on the diving board, Smitty goes to work with a prize pupil, Ronnie Frank, only 7 months old. Ronnie can't walk yet, but just look at the self-confidence of that little tyke. You never know it by looking at him that Ronnie was given little chance of survival at birth. We won't go into the details, but Smitty took over when Ronnie was 5 months old, and just look at him now, the picture of health. May give you the screaming meanies to watch this pinwheel business, but think what it's done for the youngster. He's only one in a long list of infantile paralytics, anemics, and just plain fraidy cats who've been built up by Professor Smith's rather strenuous course. You got to admit that it is a real workout. Here's a strange fact. All these balancing tricks, and the kid hasn't even learned to walk alone. Now Smitty goes to work with his prize pupil. 17-year-old, she's worked for him for 10 years. Taking out 3 years for the physical instructor's war service. Look at the grace and poise of this youngster in these balancing exercises. And it's even more amazing in the face of the fact that Nancy Russick was crippled by polio while Smitty was away at war. 2 years ago, this young lady could barely stand without support. Look at the result of Smitty's patient and understanding work, plus a young girl's determination and courage. Now, we're not building up Smitty as some sort of a Sister Kenny, but you do have to admit that he's accomplished something fine, restoring a girl's health and confidence after the crippling scourge. Balancing like a ballerina, Nancy could go right on to a job in the big top, but she prefers to be a student at Casement's Junior College. Incidentally, the sum total of lifting and pushing human weight around adds up to roughly about 50 tons a day for Smitty. Makes me weary just to talk about it. A longshoreman's got an easier job. Sorry, Nancy, that's no reflection on your 97 pounds. Hey, girls, if it's your ambition to look like the radiator ornament on a sleek, streamlined car, then Smitty's the guy who can really put you in the swim. Hey, Smitty, after all the nice things I said about you, don't toss that kid in from up there. He'll drown. Well, maybe after all, Smitty's really the meanest guy on earth. Well, look at Buster. He can swim after all. Believe it or call me Fibber Stern. Pupils of Smitty sometimes learn to swim before they can walk. And strange as it seems, some of them even learn to dive before they can swim. Why, you old pirate, making that kid walk the plank? Here's a trick that's got Smitty down, but the youngster up. You take your health the hard way, kid. I'll take vitamins. You know, that trampoline's really a fascinating gadget. There are more flops in one of those things than in a season on Broadway. A backward flip onto the front porch and a twist in the air are all you need to keep that old waistline under control. Good for the ulcers, too. All these flip-flops fail to stimulate the spirit of competition in microphone athletics just like me. But the youngsters, for them, a trampoline is a regular three-ring circus. Whee! Handy little knick-knack for the backyard. Junior can work off some of that excess steam, and not a chance of his fracturing a fibia. If he can walk away from it all in one piece, it sure will keep Mom happy. Introducing Suzanne Stern. Now, here's where we get a new slant on the Smithy business. Doing splits and high jumps, swan-dives, and you-know-what floppers have rolled 50 pounds off of her in 5 months. A swimming and diving teacher in California, she's been a student of the Smithy method for 10 years. The trampoline routine gets her in trim, a trim 50 pounds less. She's hard at work flip-flopping off another 15 lbs before she goes back to the teaching business. Smitty keeps a sharp eye on his pupil. And brother, she really leaps like a salmon going upstream. Thanks for a real fancy exhibition, Suzanne. Here's Mickey Pipko, just to prove that you don't have to start this business when you're a baby. Double flips he does. Only a year ago, he'd never seen a trampoline, even in a circus. Hey, that's what you call agility. Mickey never was a particularly athletic character until he was 24. The most exercise he ever took was bending over to lace up his shoes. It's just like flying, you know, like the daring young man. As Smitty says, to learn a few flip-flops, you don't have to start out as an acrobatic baby, but it sure helps. And if you can flip like this, there'll be no flops.